What makes you think there's going to be a Fed pivot this year? Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, always live with no edits. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button now, as you're going to like what I'm about to say. So right here to my left, I do have a Franklin 1951 Philadelphia half dollar. So let's begin with this one. Not my oldest one, but certainly one of my more attractive Franklin half dollars. So yes, these 1951 Philadelphia Franklin half dollars had a mintage of 16.8 million. So although that might sound like a grand number, that's actually not a huge number considering how many Americans were living in America during this era. These are struck in 90% silver. The Franklin half dollars of 1948 through 1963 feature only the fourth real person to be depicted on a regular issue U.S. coin, following Presidents Lincoln on the cent, Washington on the quarter, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt on the dime. Benjamin Franklin contributed greatly to the welfare of the original colonies and the birth of the nation. He is best known for his legendary scientific experiments and numerous inventions. So, yep, stunning piece. You have the Liberty Bell on the back. Very, very attractive. You have to look at it subtly to see the crack. But there is a crack in the bell, and yes, that is intentional. Of course, you have the eagle right there to your right. But just beautiful pieces. Certainly some of my favorite, and that's why I have a collection of these half dollars in a variety of conditions. Great, good, and a few that are not so well, but they're still very attractive. So yes, in case you're wondering, these Franklin half dollars from 1951 in circulated condition are worth between $12 to $25. However, on the open market, 1951 half dollars in pristine, uncirculated condition sell for as much as $3,300. And with the way everything's going with our economy, the way these precious metals are escalating in value, I foresee the price on these half dollars going up tremendously. So real quick, folks, before we continue, I do want to give a quick shout out to one of my loyal subscribers, and this is the Otis Burger 617. This is a comment they made earlier today. Here we go. The Otis Burger 617. Good stuff, Silver Dad Knows. Question for you and our Silver Dad Knows community. Can anyone tell me why I shouldn't stack several ounces of copper? I know it's used in a lot of everyday things. Plus, I think it's great. It's a great gateway metal to stack since it's priced so low. And I'm not saying throw all your weight towards copper, but I like the metal. What do you guys think? Well, I appreciate the question. The Otis Burger 617. While I do think stacking copper can be valuable, personally, I do not stack on copper. I do have a friend and a subscriber who is a plumber. They, collectively get copper, and in turn, they trade this copper into silver. If you're doing it in that sense, I think it's a tremendous idea, incredible idea. However, if you're just buying copper to elevate yourself, I wouldn't do so. I would stick with silver, and that's just me personally. I'm not sure what everybody else thinks. Because the safest assets are always gold and silver. That's why America's enemies are purchasing as much as they can. Right now, our marketplace is buying debt and only asking for more since so many Americans lack liquidity. Most Americans live off debt because they need it. They have no options. The government spends more and more, which distorts our economy, making it less efficient. The working class, the middle class, we bear the burden. Stacking gold and silver is the most obvious thing to be doing right now. The billionaires, the ruling class, all these CEOs, they're stacking on actual assets. They're cashing out on all their funny money. And when the system does finally wreck, they're going to buy back in when everyone would have already lost everything. Sell high, buy low. And they repeat the process over and over. That's why they're rich and the majority aren't anywhere near their net worths. There is truly no better liquidity than silver. It's remarkably easy to trade with all types of people globally. The Federal Reserve isn't actually a federal agency, but an independent cartel. Wages are barely moving while the costs of basic necessities have increased 25 to 30%. Most people living standards have reduced 25 to 30%. Look around, we're seeing it. It's happening to our friends, our loved ones, and in many cases, ourselves. 40% of Americans can't even afford their student loans. What makes you think there's going to be a Fed pivot this year? There isn't. The job market is already getting worse by the day as an increasing amount of people default on their loans. The US dollar has lost over 20% of its purchasing power since 2019 in just 5 years. That's disturbing. Our purchasing power has reduced 20% in recent years, yet the average price of a house has risen from $250,000 to over $400,000 in just the last 5 years, $150,000 increase. It's going to become so hard for us to compete against the world like we had done so easily these last decades. It had been so easy for us for so long, and now it's becoming difficult on the global stage. Inflation will get worse. Rates will stay higher for longer. The middle class is already being forced to sell off assets, and all our poor and rich are only going to separate further. The rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. This is going to take place within the next several years. The chance to get rich is running out here in America. So if you're not dabbling with precious metals, cryptocurrency, and or real estate, I have no clue what you're doing with yourself. You had plenty of time. Silver, gold, and Bitcoin. Look no further. So yes, folks, don't think I've forgotten. I have the Donald Trump mugshot piece right here. Never surrender. The Don. Yes, so history has been made and is being made with this gentleman. Donald Trump is the first and this is the first and only police booking picture of a U.S. president. And of course, yes, this is the Donald Trump mugshot silver round. And you go to the obverse, which I love the obverse. And the obverse of these mugshot rounds features the White House. Very attractive, very stunning. Just on its own, you know, this right here is just a very, very nice looking piece. Then you go back to the reverse. We have an image, and this is actually a replica of the actual mugshot of the former president that was released on August 24th, 2023. History was made in August 2023 as Donald Trump became the first U.S. president to attain a mugshot, to be forced to get a mugshot. The former president, along with 18 associates, were indicted by a Georgia grand jury for alleged attempts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. A little over a week after the indictment, the county sheriff's office released the new, which is the now infamous mugshot, shortly after Trump turned himself in. You know, call it what you want, whether you hate him or you love him, whether you think it's all propaganda, maybe you're voting for him again. Just a super cool coin, folks. And I have actually 3 Trump pieces. All of them are highly sought after. And I always have customers hitting me up for them. Hey, you have the Don right now. Hey, you have the Pledge of Allegiance option. Hey, you have the one with the eagle on the back. I mean, they're super cool coins. And whether you hate them or love them, presidential coins like this piece, they're always going to be in demand. They're always going to be selling. And yeah, it's like, hey, you hate him? Here's a coin that you can make fun of him with. Hey, you love him? Here's a coin that you can praise him with. It's a win-win. So yes, folks, as always, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Silver Dad Knows. Remember, you go to my description, you'll notice my eBay link. You can go to my eBay link, you hit me up. Hey, I'm a subscriber, I'm a patriot, Silver Dad Knows. I will sell you any of my coins at your choosing, at my cost. I will hook you up. But yes, folks, as always, God bless you. God bless your household. and God bless these great United States of America.